What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, look, let's chop it up about James Gunn once again. Everybody's been kind of trying to figure out, is James Gunn good or not? You know, because the DCU just got rebooted once again, and now everybody's looking at it like, shoot, man, I don't know if James Gunn is the right guy. You know, Superman lost money. You know, Peacemaker, in my opinion, was a giant disaster. Some people liked it, but it's very divisive, all right? A lot of people ain't feeling what James Gunn is doing right now. And then, of course, Creature Commandos, that led the whole thing off. That was just a giant nothing burger. I don't think anybody really cares about that, you know? So you had a lot of articles like this one coming out, Collider, James Gunn's DCU fate completely relies on the success of the next two movies in his bold experiment. And the next two movies, of course, are Supergirl and Clayface. And it's like, can you imagine your entire fate of your universe relies on Supergirl and Clayface? And it's like, man, just wrap it up now. If that's what's going on, just wrap it up right now, okay? And everybody's saying, yo, man, James Gunn, he might already be done once the Warner Brothers sells, you know? So, yeah, I kind of feel like 2026 is huge, all right? It's going to come down to the three projects that he's got, you know, Supergirl, Clayface, and then, of course, Lanterns. Well, now we're getting some information on Lanterns. DC reverses course, removes James Gunn's next DCU release from early 2026 slate. Okay, and we already know that Lanterns was expected to drop in the first quarter of 2026. Now it looks like that ain't the case. Yeah, this is what the Direct had wrote. As part of a recent Heat Vision newsletter from The Hollywood Reporter, writers Aaron Couch and Boris Kitt slipped in a mention that the recently released Peacemaker Season 2 finale would be the last of the Gunverse we'll see until June's Supergirl. And this was their actual quote. The finale will mark the last of the Gunverse we'll see until June's Supergirl. But that doesn't mean the folks over at DC Studios are sitting idly by. The Lantern Cast host, I guess that's a podcast or something, caught this and decided to ask about whether this meant Lanterns had been pushed. He received a reply saying, "You're quite the eagle-eyed reader. Yes, we expect Lanterns will now come out after Supergirl." That's the quote right there. Lantern Cast says, "That's crazy. Are you guys going to put that out publicly at some point?" Then the Hollywood Reporter says, "If you want to mention it on your podcast, feel free to refer to what we reported in the newsletter. And if you want, you can say you checked with us to confirm that's what we are saying." So yeah, that's what it is. Lanterns has now been bumped back till after Supergirl. So the next DCU project that you're going to get, it's not going to come in the first quarter of 26. It's coming in June. All right. So we're still talking about something about 8 months away, roundabout. Yeah, that's a long time to wait for your next project. So between projects, because you're talking about the Peacemaker, you know, which dropped in August, you're talking about 10 months. 10 months is a long time between projects, James Gunn. That is a long time for people to just say, hey, I already forgot about the DCU. Oh, yeah, that's right. That thing James Gunn was doing that really wasn't working out that well. Oh, we finally getting back to the next thing, huh? Like, I felt the first quarter of 26 was a nice little sweet spot between Peacemaker Season 2 and Supergirl. You know, for just to kind of keep everybody going. It's like, all right, let's see what Lanterns has to offer. You know, and then we can fast forward and get ready for Supergirl. But now it's like, yeah, we're going to be waiting all the way until the middle of next year before we finally get another DCU project. The lineup of this whole situation, man, James Gunn didn't think this shit through. Okay. But now, anyway, the next thing we're going to get, all right, the next thing we're going to get is Supergirl, all right? He's saying that, yeah, previously Lanterns was eyeing a spring 2026 release window, but that no longer appears to be the case. So Supergirl is next. And what is Supergirl going through right now? Oh, the classic reshoots, all right? Supergirl reshoots reportedly injecting testosterone into a DC film by adding Superman and Lobo. All right, like, time out, all right?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Are y'all telling me that once again you made yet another girl boss movie that wasn't going to appeal to the guys? Is that what you're telling me, James Gunn? That you went out there and said, oh, you know, we're going to make a girl boss movie. It's going to be full of feelings and emotions and all of that shit like Thunderbolts. And, you know, little Supergirl was going to be getting drunk and going through some sort of a personal crisis. You know, and then everything else that goes on, everything that I have heard about this Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, I don't like. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read the comic run by Tom King, but everything I hear about it, it just sounds bad. It just sounds like trash. So I'm like, is this what we're doing again? Have we not learned our lessons from this? Did we not learn anything from the Marvels? Okay. It sounds like maybe somebody said, yeah, I think we better get some testosterone into this DC movie. All right. Let's get some Superman in there. I didn't even think Superman was a part of that story. But apparently now we're going to add Superman in and Lobo, who I do believe was already in the story. So maybe they're going to say, yeah, let's add some more Lobo. Let's add some more Lobo. Let's add some more Superman. And to me, this already spells disaster. If this is what you have to do to your movie, this is already spelling doom and gloom. It means you didn't understand the assignment, and now you have to go back and try to fix it in post by putting some more testosterone into it. What does that even mean at this point, man? You're injecting testosterone into the movie? You think you can artificially just throw guy shit into a movie and everybody, oh, look at there goes some guy stuff. You're right. The meatheads are pleased. If it's not baked into the story automatically, man, it's just not going to go well. It's not going to come off well and people are going to reject it.
Rejected.
This thing sounds like a hot mess already. Yeah, but, you know, James Gunn, bro, he didn't understand the assignment. That's why Supergirl got greenlit in the first place. It should have never been a part of your first 4 or 5 projects. Supergirl is like project 12, 13, 14. It's way down the line, bruh. But yeah, shout out to thatparkplace.com, Trevor Dennon. Let's go ahead and read what it is they got to say. Ahead of its July 2026 release, I think this is supposed to be June 2026, Supergirl is in rumored reshoots, and now it appears that the Woman of Tomorrow is getting some help from Superman and Lobo. The next entry in James Gunn's Superman saga is being directed by Craig Gillespie and based on the comic by Tom King. Star Millie Alcock was introduced to Supergirl in last summer's Superman as an edgy and jaded young woman, and Supergirl screenwriter Anna Noguera promises more of the same. So far, much of the focus has been on the cosmic revenge story and Supergirl's journey. Now we're hearing about an increased male presence. While Lobo doesn't appear in the book Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, King reportedly wanted the alien bounty hunter in the comics storyline. Since July, rumors have circulated that Jason Momoa's portrayal of the character in the movie is reportedly a hit, with Warner Brother execs asking for more. See, but that's the problem, man. He's not in the original run, so he's already being shoehorned into a story that he wasn't a part of in the first place. And now that, oh, this guy's a hit, man. We love Jason Momoa as Lobo, so let's just add more of them. But like, where's the thought process that went into making this movie in the first place? I thought the script was so good that James, we got to make it right now because this script is, it's hot shit. But now it's like, well, we didn't have enough Lobo in there, so let's just add some more Lobo in. You know, and maybe it works out. I don't know. But to me, this just comes off as y'all didn't really have a good idea of what it is you were doing. Recently, scooper Daniel Rickman, Daniel RPK. Grain of salt, folks, grain of salt, dropped a hint that David Corenswet is suiting up for a surprise return as Superman. Adding plausibility is the fact that where Superman's costume was on display on the Warner Brothers Studios tour, there's now just a sign that reads Superman costume currently being used by production. All right. And then there was, I guess, the picture of the tour guy, walking past this, and this is what the sign says. And so they're adding Superman in, I guess, for his testosterone purposes, which is like the beta cuck that Superman was in James Gunn Superman. I'm not sure how much testosterone Supes is supposed to be adding to the mix, because it comes off as a very weak Superman. If I'm being very honest, a very hopeful, yes, very joyful, yes, believes in all of that kind of shit. Sure. But you don't have that stoicism that you normally see and associate with Superman. He was a very emotional Superman, which is not normally what you would expect, especially if you're talking about injecting some testosterone into that. Testosterone is meaning manly, all right? Hair on your chest. That ain't James Gunn Superman.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
James Gunn Superman got a softer side to him, all right? He's in touch with his feelings. That's what that guy is, man. Testosterone is not in touch with feelings. I'm sorry. That's just not the way testosterone works at all. The next Superman movie, Man of Tomorrow, isn't in production, but if Supergirl is doing reshoots, the timing can't be ignored. Unless Corenswet is only appearing in some sort of bookend scene, this signals a major reworking of the plot. That's how I look at it. They didn't know what they was getting themselves into. They had no idea what they should have been doing, which, according to everything we've been told so far, is fairly female-centric. Well, a Supergirl movie should be female-centric because Supergirl is a female. I wouldn't expect it to be a male-centric story starring Supergirl. That wouldn't be better at all.
He ain't lying.
Female-centric is fine. I think what these Hollywood movie producers and directors and writers, I think what they fail to understand is that the superhero genre is primarily for guys. All right? It's for guys. It's similar to Star Wars. Star Wars is a male brand, a young male brand. So are superheroes. Regardless of whether the hero is a girl or a guy or a woman or a man or whatever, it's guys that are going to be coming to watch this thing. So you need to sell this movie to the guys. You can't try to sell the girl boss shit to other girls because the girls ain't going to show up. Didn't we learn anything from the Marvels? You had 3 girl boss heroes going up against a girl boss villain, and it was 70% guys going to see the movie. All right? Like, that should have told everybody, oh, okay, these movies the women aren't showing up. Unless they're showing up with their boyfriends. All right. That's the only time the girls are going to show up. But even then, it's still going to be heavily populated by guys. The movie theaters, that is. There's going to be more dudes in there watching Supergirl than it is girls. Now, I did say, like, yo, there is a possibility if you really want to skew this towards the girls, you got to go full Bad Girls Club. All right. You got to do some like silly reality world, like real world, like that type of dumb shit. You would have to do something that is 1000% for women, almost like Barbie. All right. You would have to set up Supergirl almost like you set up a Barbie type movie with Supergirl being like the biggest, baddest ass, superhero ever. But she's all about the girl boss. She's all about the female empowerment and she's all of that shit or whatever. And I still think that is a high risk because Supergirl has never been a character like that for women. Barbie has. And if you could have made, and I think somebody was thinking this, I'm pretty sure they were. If you could have made a Barbie style movie, but for women and for young girls, and Supergirl is the hero of that, and you could really tapped into that Barbie market, you might have had something. I don't think there's any chance that this thing is going to do well in box office. I think it's just going to be another flop. It's going to be another flop, especially if after all is said and done and you've already shot the movie. Oh, shit, it's time to add some testosterone into this thing. It's like, yep, y'all failed. All right, that's a big F, fellas. According to Variety, the movie has her traveling across the galaxy to celebrate her 21st birthday with Crypto the Superdog. Along the way, she meets a young woman named Ruthie and winds up on a murderous quest for revenge. Yeah, so again, you got another girl boss jumping in here. This just sounds dumb. This just sounds like absolutely stupid. Like I said, everything I've heard about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is retarded, and it's not something that I would read or watch on my own. But, for channel purposes, I'm going to do so before the movie comes out. How Superman and Lobo can fit in remains to be seen. Why they might be needed to bolster interest is more apparent, because if that creative pivot sounds familiar, it's because we've seen similar course corrections attempted before. And then they go into talking about Ballerina. Yeah. And I think like Ballerina was actually a well done like female action movie. I thought it was really well done. I thought, what's her name? Anna de Armas was good. She was believable. They made the whole storyline of her being this little small woman, but being able to kick ass because they just say, hey, you just gonna have to fight like a girl. You can't beat these dudes head up. And so she was using all these various little techniques fighting like a girl. I thought Ballerina was actually pretty good, but it flopped. All right. As they say, it flopped at the box office. And we talked about it back then. Again, I think Girl Boss is out. I think people are sick and tired of Girl Boss. And I think if they have Supergirl and they have the female empowerment shit going and all of that stuff, this is not what guys want to watch. Like with this, it's a John Wick spinoff. People want John Wick. They don't want the spinoff. And they sure as hell don't want the female version of John Wick. They just want John Wick. Just give us John Wick. And sometimes it is what it is. You can have a great universe. You can have a great world. You can have all of this great shit. But guys just want what they want. But, we'll see what happens with Supergirl. I think this is a major, major, major concern right now. I was also looking at this IGN headline. Supergirl is Woman of Tomorrow plus Lobo. All right, so they're adding a heavy amount of Lobo in it. It'll also clarify what the House of L is all about. So, yeah, we got this whole House of L situation, the genocidal Superman family. All of that stuff, they're going to try to explain it away in Supergirl. I think there's probably some edits and some course correction done here as well. Look, I think this whole situation is not going well for James Gunn. James Gunn is on the chopping block. James Gunn is nervous. And then the success of his entire universe may rely on Supergirl and Clayface, which means it's probably already dead. All right. And then with Lanterns not coming out to bolster anything, to give everybody a little bit of a reprieve, it's coming out after Supergirl. All the way bad, James Gunn, man. He got to be nervous as fuck. That's how I look at it. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about it, man. What do you expect? Do you expect Supergirl to get the job done? Do you expect James Gunn to keep his job after the last, the next 3 projects come out in 26? I don't. Okay, I think that all 3 of those projects are going to have varying degrees of failure and flop. And people are going to be like, yeah, I don't really care about this universe. I'm already done. I'm watching anime, or I'm watching something else that's out there. I'm watching TikTok. I'm on my phone. Like, what's going to entice people to go to the movies? It's not this. This doesn't, I don't want to go to the movies to watch this. Okay? That should tell you everything you need to know from a guy that loves superheroes. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Go ahead. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.